Hello, everybody. Welcome. So, I watched a wise report earlier tonight regarding the Delhi asbestos. What's on my head? It's a kind of skin disease, huh? Okay, it's gone now. Oh, it's back again. Fuck that. Hopefully, it's gonna go away and my immune system gonna find me against it. Anyway, I watched that video. It was quite an interesting documentary to watch and led me to some thinkings beyond the scope of the documentary. Really deep philosophical and epidemiological thinking. The video outlined the stark contrast between Russian and American awareness on the danger of asbestos. There was a particularly memorable thing when a journalist visiting the asbestos mine wearing full protective gear encountered two Russians casually strolling around in khaki and jeans and questioned, "Are you not aware of the danger of asbestos? That it causes cancer?" The Russian laughed and responded casually, "If you're not afraid, the body will heal itself." The journalist may have found the two men ludicrous or ignorant, and the two Russians probably thought that she was ridiculous. Well, there's some grounds to what the Russians are saying. Obviously, there's some stark contrast between the two countries' people's socially accepted view on health and booze. And I will avoid the politics but I will avoid the politics discussed in this video and approach this contrast in an inductive scientific manner as a real determined co-evolutionist. So, so the body can heal itself, and most of us has probably learned that we have an immune system that naturally counters maladies, including cancer cells. We all have cancer cells in our body. It's only because of our immune system constantly killing them as they grow that they do not spread to the whole body. Well, cancer cells are sort of analogous to the chemicals to the criminals in society that have always existed and will always be there, and are kept from propagating the whole of society only through the constant oppression from the anti-criminals. Let's just say the police and the good citizens. The immune system meant to keep certain cells in control as to safeguard against malices that could compromise the whole system. The human immune system is indeed very powerful, and in most cases can fight the uprising of cancer or any other disease. Unfortunately, most Americans that are not in poverty live quarantine lives, spending the majority of their time in their hygienic home and a community where the immune system would hardly encounter any significant amount of carcinogen, never to receive any training or forewarning in preparation to any serious environmental danger, such as mosquito bite or uncovered sneeze, or or asbesto bite, not asbesto bite, but like asbesto, you know. They're not bugs. Yeah. Your immune system is a subsystem of your body system, and it's constant training and encountering maladies in order to prepare for the more dangerous diseases. Just like how you need to be constantly solving all your issues to prepare yourself for whatever issue you're gonna have in the future. So you're always gonna have issues. When the immune system is weakened as a result of inactivity or dullness, if you personify it, it becomes weakened and unprepared for malice when it's untrained. Imagine a police department in a small town that had not seen any crimes in years, and there's a sudden uprising of crimes. I highly doubt the police officer of that department would be prepared or incapable of controlling these crimes at that point. The town could be crime-ridden with prepared criminals, and the police could not have enough experience to counter them until they learn how. Our immune system is actually very adaptive, but it's only strong and capable when it's being trained constantly in countering malices. Americans have very heightened awareness of hygiene, and the government had been pursuing propaganda to encourage hygienic practices. Most of you would probably frown at unhygienic practices. Some of you would even become disgusted at people not washing their hands past number two. Some of you are even horrified by public restroom and the idea of germs. Well, what a good hygienic practice does is protecting our body from malicious germs and chemicals and preventing diseases, especially the spread of infectious disease. But it also subjects our immune system to very little encounter to malices at all, giving very little opportunity to train against the danger we're often floating in our environment. Hygiene is almost like a double-edged sword in this respect. This is one of the reasons that Americans see doctors much more often than people in any other countries. The generally weakened natural immune system of Americans is a result of their lifestyle will need a regular intervention from doctors to ensure their health. Because of their natural immune system and not naturally prepared to battle the malices. Their body system needs to be constantly monitored, and the malices fall with medications. Over time, the doctors replace their job uh, of your natural immune system, and at some point, your body or your brain would decide that it's not necessary to maintain a good immune system. Your immune system become idle since it really has nothing to do. But in this Russian Asbesto producing town named Asbesto, where where people had been exposed to carcinogens such as asbestos for a very long period of time, the immune system would have fought the mutating cancer cells fiercely and constantly, developing a stronger persistence against cancer. Therefore, they are much, much more unlikely to get cancer from the same amount of exposure as opposed to their American counterparts. The Russian immune system is like a fierce and experienced police force. Experiencing American experience in oppressing all types of criminals, that it's confident of keeping the criminals in control. This is also the reasons that Americans are notorious for having the most allergic, where people in developing countries develop persistent to this exposures from constant, often generations of regular exposure that altered their DNA and enhanced their immune response, so that allergies are almost unheard of. In treating a disease, one always has two options. To let the body heal itself, uh, just see a professional. To choose the earlier, it would give the body the time to learn what's happening and naturally adjust its immune system and various parameters to overcome the malice sooner or later. To choose a later would give the job to this professional as opposed to one's own body, and in the long term would lead to the body's dependency to the professional as a result of prolonged inaction and deterioration of one's natural immune system. This is the reason that people either never go to the doctors or go to the doctors often. The people that never see the doctor will most likely have a very resistant and strong immune system that's been kept busy and properly trained so that they don't even need a doctor. At this point, those of you that currently have appointments with a doctor may be wondering, can I just cancel my appointment, cancel my medical insurance, stop taking medications so I can develop my natural immune system and become independently healthy? Well. Even though that would save you a good amount of money and time, it seems like a good economic decision. I strongly encourage you to contemplate this. If your immune system had long been idle and dependent on a doctor's treatment and medication, it's likely becoming independent on these things and cannot function without them, like a heroin junkie kicking heroin. Your immune system might not function for a while when treatment stops, and it might take a significant amount of time before your immune system learns how to contact again. Then there's always the possibility that something catastrophic may happen to you. You may get hit by a car and end up in a hospital, in batting voluntarily with a pending huge medical bill, probably larger than the insurance company you thought was smart to save after watching my video tricked by capitalism. Also, statistically, you are less likely to get in a car accident if you have insurance, so keep that in mind. Eventually, in the microscopic sense, whether one chooses to see a professional or let a body heal itself makes a difference only in terms of economic activity. The doctor has seen the patient medication that prescribed, which led to a trip at a pharmacy, dealing with the insurance company and new appointments. Whereas when one chooses to serve here, there's no external activity. In a mostly pro-capitalist West, more economic activity is guided by doctrine and industries. Individuals are turned into lifestyles that encourage economic activities through a systematic propaganda of consumerism. Of course, I'm assuming two things here, that you don't have a really hard doctor, and also that you're not so bored of your tedious solitary life that's going to the doctor seem like a more vibrant alternative. So partly the Russian is right, and the cancer is indeed Western propaganda. As I read in one of the funny YouTube comments, that's why he said no. Indeed, I have to say, cancer is integral to Western society, and it would never leave us until we find a cure. Definitely in the future, when the economy and the society will have advanced to a stage that makes cancer obsolete. That's like chicken box, huh? The journalism needs the protections to stand in front of mine, while her Russian counterparts have confidence in the natural protection from the immune system. Science is, science is taught very differently in the East and West to suit respective social structure and the values as it evolves with the social norms. But science is science and it's about truth and not about belief system. Oh, doctors, huh? Thanks for watching my video. I'll be happy to hear what you think. Think this is my first video of this sort. Feel free to comment or debate, debate you fiercely, like our immune system now. Okay, bye, bye.